From After Dark World Headquarters, this is your fave old right correspondent KD with your 4th of July special. Well, I've been keeping this one on ice. This is from 1993. I had access to a VHS video camera, and I do an interview with Jackie B while he's lying in the bed because he was too fucking lazy to set up. He'd been working in the mill, and I went through great effort to get this access to this VHS camera. And so it had to be done this night, and boy, he was not having it. But me, with my persuasive nature, I talked him into it, and this is the document. This is his bedroom. Interesting, isn't it? Dogs playing poker above the head, and I think those are William Shatner socks. We'll begin the conversation with Jack reminiscing about the early days of Cliffside as a kid and Mr. Joe Johnson. Here he comes. Hey, like that paneling. There he is. Yeah, he's got the rare back to talk. Look at that motherfucker.
Yeah. Old Man Daly, he was pretty much a nut, right? I mean, is that exaggerating it? Is that Gonzo?
No, it was just typical for the times. You know? I mean, he probably wasn't no more of a nut than anybody else. That period, that time, that location, under those economic circumstances.
Now, you know, that reminds me of that other old dude that you remember. What was his name? The guy that used to beat spoons?
Well, Joe Johnson.
Tell me about Joe Johnson.
Well, he was an old man from the old school. He lived with his old maid daughter down on Church Street, one of the rented mill houses.
Yeah.
Back then, you could rent a house for $5 a room a month.
Yeah.
$20 a month, 4 rooms.
Yeah.
They put bathrooms on in the 50s. They come off the farm and thought this was heaven.
Yeah.
And old Joe, him and his then becoming old maid daughter, moved in down there.
Yeah.
And there's our next door neighbor.
Oh, your next door neighbors. You
Yeah.
remember this guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember Joe. He wore overalls, never washed them. They were so dirty, the word was that you could stand them up against a wall
Now,
and they wouldn't fall down.
is this, do you think this is Gonzo, or is this straight up?
I think it's true.
Now, you have sat in this old dude's lap, right?
Right, his feat was to take a nickel and beat it with a spoon repetitively. He'd take a spoon and beat a nickel for hours and hours. Why? Because he had nothing else to do. And when he would beat the nickel over and over for periods of hours, he would get fat on the corners. Looked kind of like a washer without the hole drilled out.
Yeah.
And then he would drill it out and make rings. It would look like a ring.
Have you seen this?
Yeah. Yeah, he's made them for me. He did make them for me, right? He died of old age in about mid-60s.
Now, he had a Santa Claus beard, right?
Yeah.
And you can remember the funk off him, even as a child?
Yeah. Stuff run down his beard and never washed. I remember he had an old car shed, old mill double car shed.
Right.
And dirt ground floor in it, not graded, humped and holed. And I remember the distinct smell of tinkle. Old Joe probably either couldn't or wouldn't make it into the facility.
remember his shirts, like yellowed collar? Like,
Yeah, oh yeah. Joe had that dead smelling funk to him that you didn't pay that much attention to back then because a lot of people had that back then. Of course, I was so young, I didn't know the difference more.
now, growing up at Cliffside and everything when you was a kid, what do you remember about the old city or town, I guess is a better way to put it, of Cliffside?
Good place to stop. It's not often you get to see Mr. Jackie B. Goforth pontificating on camera. I went to great effort to make this happen. What a great guy. I miss him. So, depending on your response, I can offer up some more clips of this, or we shall just move on. Either way, I'll see you at Jackie B's house.
Hey, you. Your girl coming at you. And I just want you to know that my dear bosom buddy, KD, asked me to share the rules of KD After Dark. Ooh, when it's all dark and fun out, when the real fun begins after dark. Okay, these are your rules for KD After Dark. Be nice until it's time to not be nice. You know what I mean. Use your best judgment. Number 2, KD rules after dark. Rule number 2, always be kind to animals. That almost should be rule number 1, but I'll let it go. Rule number 3, discipline equals freedom. Okay, I'm very disciplined at wearing a bra here when I want to have the gals out for freedom, but I'll let that one slide. But that is a KD After Dark rule. Number 4, never complain and never explain. No complaining, no explaining. Or as I Love Lucy used to say, no explaining, Lucy. If you're in my age group, you'll understand that joke. Okay, going on to number 5, you don't have unlimited time. Don't you know that by now? Right? Time is the number 1 commodity sometimes. Get it? Time. Anyway, don't forget though, you do not have unlimited time. Use your time wisely, and you should know that. Number 6, last but not least, like and subscribe right now. You got it? If you don't, rewatch it. Over and out, your girl, Christy Campbell.